Hey, hey, everyone. Day 5. Thank you for joining my co-servicing crash course. Who all's here? Throw me an emoji, throw me a chat. Let me know where you're dialed in from. Also want you guys to share your best any best practices for creating really successful co-servicing motions at your company. Co-servicing is one of the areas that gets Co-servicing is one of the areas that gets, I think, the least amount of attention, but something that if you can really nail, can provide the most long-term value. Hey, Elaine. Okay. So while people are kind of joining and trickling in, I'll do a quick round of introductions. My name is Lisa Thoman Lawson. I'm based in the Bay Area. I have been a consultant for kind of fast growing venture backed SaaS companies for the last 6 years. My main thing that I do is I help these SaaS companies define and build and optimize their partner strategies. My background prior to consulting is in channel sales at companies like Microsoft, um, Optimizely, among many others. So since becoming a consultant, I've helped over 30 plus kind of early stage companies, providing them strategy consulting to help them build their partner strategies. So that's a little bit about me. I also, by the way, I'm along with being a consultant, I also am partnered with Sassy Sales Leadership. Sassy is a company that provides like real world hands-on workshops to SaaS companies and their employees. So we develop kind of go-to-market leadership across go-to-market roles. If you look us up on G2 Crowd, we are always in the top companies for doing this. So I work with Sassy and with Matt Cameron, the training leaders over at Sassy, on their Partner Manager Accelerator, which is a kind of a role-based, cohort-based training for partner managers who are newer in their careers or who need to really learn the basics, fundamentals to accelerate and roll. The reason I work with Sassy on this is because when I was a manager managing partner teams, there was no role-based training, and it's something near and dear to my heart that I really believe we need to be enabling our teams to make the biggest impact possible at the company. So, okay, I know you're here not to learn about me, so I will get into our co-servicing crash course. When the Partner Hacker PLX team first came to me and we were talking about the content they needed for today, we knew we were going to have the experts, the leaders in the space, telling you guys why co-servicing is so important, why we need it, why it's a must-have, not a nice to have. But what we wanted today's session to be is a lot more tactical. We want to give you the steps and the process to really build your co-servicing program. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. So we know from all of the experts from this whole week of content that customers are demanding and need a complete solution. So not just the tech. They need a complete end-to-end solution that will help them drive real value. And we also know that partners, particularly service partners, provide that specialized expertise and services to create more value for the customer and create that complete solution, which ultimately drives higher lifetime value. So, what are the types of services I'm talking about? I'm talking about everything from specialized, like niche, personalized strategy consulting, implementation, training, customization, managed services, change management services across the board. And in fact, working collaboratively with partners enables this more comprehensive solution across the customer journey. So, working with partners enables a boost in revenue on the sales side, a boost in critical kind of SaaS metrics across the whole journey. Not just, I'm not talking just lifetime value when you co-service with a partner, but bringing partners in early into that customer journey actually leads to higher, higher, lower cost per leads, higher ACV, higher LTV, lower churn across the board, which means that you go from making one deal healthier to scaling it and making all of your customers and your entire business at scale healthier for the long term. So what are the 7 steps to building an effective co-servicing program? Okay, so real quick, I'm going to blow through these 7 steps and then we'll get into each one of them. The first thing you want to do are identify the key partner services that your partners provide to your customers. What is the value they're adding and how and where? Then you want to define your co-servicing strategy. And yes, there are different co-servicing strategies that you can employ. It's not a one size fits all. So really identifying your strategy, putting it down on paper, having a very clear vision for what you need, what the business needs, what your customers need, what your partners need. The third step is identifying the infrastructure. So process, tools, people, programs. Number 4 is building joint servicing tools and programs. So everything from how do you select the right partner that has the right expertise to programs that make it really, really easy for internal teams to sell partner services, and just all the way through to kind of co-servicing playbooks for teams. Number 5 is determine the right incentives. I talked about this yesterday a lot in my co-selling course. And sorry, this says 7 steps to effective co-selling. This is 7 steps for effective co-servicing. Sorry, the title is wrong here. But the 5th step is determining the right incentives. I talked about this a lot yesterday in that incentives drive behaviors. So if you're trying to get your whole organization to start co-servicing better or more with partners, you need to think about incentives to help drive that behavior. 6, build momentum quickly, and 7, evangelize partner wins. So the first step to co-servicing is identifying where and how partners add value across the customer journey. This map is an example. Your map will look different. Everyone's map will look different based on the product and your customers and your partners, but it's mapping out what partners are, hopefully there are already partners doing services well today for your customers, mapping out what they're doing, where they're doing it, how it's adding value. That will help you build programs to co-service with your partners better. So really mapping that out first. Second is you want to define your co-servicing strategy. So this is actually putting a strategy behind it, not just saying we're going to use partners for services, not just saying we co-service. You need to actually have a strategy for it. So thinking about things like what services do your products require? What do your customers need? What partner services align best with your product, your strategy, your partners? And how do you scale partner adoption, partner co-servicing adoption, and drive a co-servicing culture? This is really important because, again, you're wanting to change behavior across an organization. When you're building your co-servicing motions and muscles and program for the first time, your organization has never done this before in a real way. And so when you think about rolling this out, you need to think about creating a partner-first culture, a co-servicing culture. What does that look like and how do you do it? How do you ingrain partners across the customer journey? And how do you make sure your executives are bought in? All of that goes into your strategy for co-servicing. The third thing you need to do, and this is pretty important, is actually identify and prioritize the infrastructure you need for your co-servicing program. So infrastructure, everything from like the cross-functional resources you need um, to you need across different teams, marketing, sales, like your training and enablement team. That will be really important. Your customer enablement team, customer training team. Do you need an engagement manager to help you manage some of these co-service engagements? What do you need from partner enablement? What's the training that your partners need? What do you need to do to set up your CRM, your PRM? Do you need certifications for partners? What tools do you need? How are you going to select the right partners to bring into customer engagements? What are the KPIs, tracking, measurement? And then also like internal training needs. Your internal services teams and sales teams also need to be trained on co-servicing. And then finally, just what are the kind of internal and external processes you need to drive partner adoption and drive more co-servicing with partners? Okay, the fourth one is building joint servicing tools and programs. So these tools and programs should help foster collaboration between your team and partners and help them service the account better. And we know that kind of today's modern kind of relationships with our customers are complex. There's a lot of people, they have a lot of needs. Um, so, what are the tools and programs you can do to provide better co servicing all the way around? So, this is everything from like playbooks that you can roll out to your internal teams and partners with joint co servicing collateral, battle cards, joint case studies with co servicing, processes, account planning, all of those tools to actually giving your account teams, your CSMs, your partners templates for winning proposals, joint pitch templates, close plans, pricing and packaging for expansion and upsells, all of that good stuff. And then finally, a lot of companies will roll out specific programs where the sales team and the customer success team will actually sell partner services or promote partner services to their customers or mandate that a partner has to be in every deal within certain segments. And so there are specialized programs that can be rolled out to drive this co-servicing motion to get more partners sold into customers early on so that their services are used long term. So at Optimizely, we had a program called Quick Start where our sales team would our sales team and our CSM team could sell a Quick Start package that was actually delivered by partners. And that really helped to boost the long-term adoption of partners post-sales. So what do those programs look like? The fifth one is determining the right incentives to drive partner adoption, co-servicing adoption. What are specific quotas, commissions, incentives? Maybe it's quota retirement or accelerators, but thinking through how you're going to get your sales team, your customer success team, and your partner teams bought into this idea of working together to make the customer successful. Really thinking through the right incentives is important. Okay, so the sixth step is once you have all of this infrastructure, all of these programs built out, you want to build momentum quickly. And the reason I say this is because your internal go-to-market teams have short attention spans. So you need to build the excitement, build the momentum, and everybody needs to see quick wins. Quickly help train your teams on adopting the co-servicing infrastructure you've set up, the CRMs, PRMs, any type of training or certification tools for the partners, partner selection tools. Your teams need to adopt these things quickly. You want to identify your top co-servicing partners, and then train your high potential partners. So this is where partner enablement comes into play. Your partner enablement team, your training team should be building repeatable training and certification programs for high potential partners. You want these to be scalable. So there should be a scalable kind of online element to it, as well as probably like a higher touch element as well. And then you want to train, not only are you training your partners, but you need to train your internal teams and your partner teams on how to co-service the customer. So what are the resources they should use? What are the value props? Do your internal teams know how to identify what a customer needs in terms of services? So training your teams on all of those things is super important. And then you want to really build those one-on-one relationships between the CSMs and the partners so that they can co-service the relationship best. The final step is evangelizing partners and partner wins across the board early on in your co-servicing program and strategy. And this is so important because in order to get full buy-in across your go-to-market org of partners, making them a part of every deal, making them a part of every customer account team. You need to get their buy-in. By the best way to do that is by showing them how it's benefiting their customers, how it's benefiting them, how customers are expanding because of it. So really evangelizing those co-servicing customer stories, those big wins, metrics, weaving those partner wins throughout all of your successful stories, at team meetings, kickoffs, pipeline reviews, and then just making partners a part of the company culture. They should be a part of all of the OKRs, starting at the top and all the way down. So I always want to back up what I say by talking to like real world people who are actually the practitioners of this today, doing co-servicing, building co-servicing programs at the ground level. So I talked to quite a few people. I've talked to people who are partners that are working with SaaS companies to co-service customers. I talked to partner enablement leads. I've talked to training leaders. And I got their just best practices advice for people who are starting off with a co-servicing program. So this is from Brian Kahak. He has led services teams at Accenture and other services orgs that partner with some big name SaaS companies. And his best advice is the best SaaS companies at working with services partners demonstrate the following. The partner teams know how to identify and onboard partners that will provide value. Partner leaders have clear success metrics with partner sourced and influenced revenue. Those metrics are shared by sales and customer success. And when partners are certified, the sales and customer success leaders enforce partner attached to sales ops and accounts as a part of how they do business. That partner attached number is a normalized part of the operating model and operating cadence. In short, the partner motion is normalized and not the exception. This permeates OKRs, incentives, operating cadence, operating models, and how we talk about success. So Brian has worked with many SaaS partnered with many SaaS companies at Accenture to service their customers, and so he has a great experience seeing which SaaS companies do this best and how they do it best. I also spoke to Janan, who leads customer success at Slack. And his advice is that partners are one of the most critical levers to scale customer success across the board. And he said one really successful strategy, best practice to jumpstart the process of incorporating partners post-sales is to create a partner-delivered services engagement that can be easily sold by sales and customer success, but delivered by partners. It's more work up front to align scope and terms, create terms with the partners, but it allows you to rapidly deploy partners into your customer base, getting both your sales and CS teams and the partners the much needed experience of jointly working together quickly. Roz Greenfield, she is a sales trainer and enablement expert training go-to-market orgs at SaaS organizations. And so she has trained different go-to-market teams on co-selling and co-servicing with partners, which is a big piece of making sure your co-servicing program is successful. But she says that co-servicing an account is a dance, and the CSM, account team, and partner should be aligned and trained on how to co-service together, including how to identify customer needs, construct valuable services packages and co-pitches, co-facilitate meetings, sell expansions and renewals, and how and when to engage as a united front. You need to enable account teams to know how to work together and the benefits of doing so. Clearly defined processes and tools will help drive co-servicing adoption. And then finally, I talked to Brett Schultz, who is a solutions engineering, customer success, partner enablement expert. He's worked at companies like Zoom, Heap, and Optimizely. And he says when starting off with a co-servicing program, you need to create repeatable trainings for new co-servicing partners. First, make a flow of all the trainings, knowledge, skills you need partners to have. Then build trainings to teach the partner the knowledge they need, as well as a system to grade and judge the success of those trainings. Finally, make sure partners have access to sandboxes and tools and systems that you have so they can learn by doing. I also asked each of these experts, like, what are some common pitfalls? What are things to look out for? And across the board, these were kind of some of the common themes. Not having a clear partner services strategy, just kind of hoping that CSMs introduce partners. That's not going to work. You actually need a strategy that you can give to your teams internally. Lack of executive buy-in, inadequate incentives to drive behavior, lack of infrastructure, lack of training and enablement, lack of alignment, failing to communicate and collaborate, not having clear rules of engagement, poor relationships between CSMs and partners. If you don't enable those one-on-one relationships, it's hard for them to build trust with each other and actually co-service an account effectively. So those are just a few of the common pitfalls. Okay, and with that, I'm almost at time. Lastly, I did want to just put a quick plug for my role-based partner manager training in December 6th through 8th. We have our next partner manager cohort. Again, it's designed for folks who are a little bit newer to role, looking for a little bit more tactical frameworks, highly interactive kind of cohort-based discussions, like situational role playing, best practice sharing, you walk away with frameworks and templates. So if you are interested, we are excited to offer all of the PLX community a discount of 20% with the code SASSYPLX20. The QR code is there if you're interested in looking through it now. We also do custom partner workshops. So we'll come in and we will identify what your needs are as a team or as an organization and train different roles across the kind of partner landscape to co-sell, co-service, and co-market better with partners. So if you're interested, shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you. If you have feedback, if you have ongoing questions about this presentation or anything I've said, would love to hear from you. Please email me at lisa@ltlpartnerconsulting.com. Great. So with that, find me on LinkedIn, email me. Happy to answer questions. Happy to share, go into depth on anything I've talked about. Would love your feedback. Would love to hear from you. Thanks.